Coach Prime, Colorado Buffaloes are changing the game, and thank you to Fran Brown and the Syracuse Orange for joining us. It looks like, hey, we're really trying to move forward in getting this joint spring practice, spring game moving along. Finally, we can face some real competition in the spring, not just practice or play against ourselves, man. We're so over that. It's time for the new age of spring ball in college football, and it involves a real opponent. So y'all let me know your thoughts on this. Be sure to like, subscribe, all that. But let's go ahead and get into it. Courtesy of Reddit, college football with help from Javon Edmonds as well. But I wanted to read this excerpt right here. Syracuse and Colorado are seeking approval by the NCAA to schedule joint practices in Boulder, concluding with the scrimmage against the Buffaloes next month. Coach Fran Brown said after Friday's practice. Colorado's compliance office, along with Syracuse's compliance office, have filed paperwork with the NCAA to get the scrimmage underway. A Syracuse spokesman said, guys, this would just be tremendous for Colorado and for Syracuse. One, I mean, this is absolutely massive for Colorado because, I thought probably the most likely scenario is that we see a program from kind of the lower ranks come up. They might have a little bit more incentive to go up against a P4 opponent, all that. But I love the fact that Colorado has the opportunity to go up against a program that won 10 games last year, at least 10 games, that was very well coached by Fran Brown. I think that this is going to be a tremendous way to prepare for what's going to be a gauntlet again in the Big 12. No doubt about it. And you're going to get an idea very, very quickly of, I think, where we stand in the Big 12 to some extent by how we perform against Syracuse. Again, there are so many NFL teams that will do these joint practices during training camp, and then they'll play a preseason game. And I think it's very, very beneficial. And yeah, I mean, I think the Broncos had some last year against the Packers, who were very, very good in 2023. And that gave you kind of early signs that, hey, this team definitely can be a surprise contender for a wild card spot. And they got the 7th seed, baby. That's exactly what happened. They shut down Jordan Love and that offense throughout, those days scrimmaging. And I would love to see what our defensive line does against another opposing offensive line. I want to see what our young quarterbacks can do going up against Syracuse. And again, this just helps bring more attention not only to some college football programs that have had success in the past, but not, Syracuse ain't a blue blood. They've put a handful of guys in the NFL, just like Colorado, but they're not a blue blood. So it helps bring attention to them. It also, I think, instills a value that needs to come back to college football, which is not finding every excuse in the world not to play football. That is probably college football's most toxic trait, is that they try and find every excuse in the world not to play, and not playing fair opponents or similar level opponents. The SEC, they only play 8 conference games because they feel like their conference is too hard to play 9. They'll be penalized for it. So we're going to play 4 crappy non-conference opponents. That's just what we're going to do, while the rest of college football in the Power 4 plays 3. I hate this. This is the thing with college football that needs to change. You can't be afraid of competition. You cannot be afraid of getting hurt. This is football. This is the most physical sport in the world. And if the Buffaloes are going to play tougher this next year, I think that this is a perfect opportunity to instill a new level of toughness early on, especially, with the fact that you can't hit very often in practices anymore. This is a tremendous opportunity to get a little bit more physical with another opponent, and you're always going to notch up that level a little bit more when you're going up against another real opponent. No doubt about it. And lastly, I think that this highlights not only Coach Prime, but the other assistant coaches that he's brought on this year. That's going to be a talking point, especially if we can get this thing going on ESPN too. That will be tremendous. And then one of the other up and coming black coaches in college football being Fran Brown, who has done a tremendous job so far with Syracuse. So I love this. I love this on so many levels. College football needs to change. Again, it's the only level of football that fears competition, that fears playing, and that fears, contact. It's got to change. So I love the fact that Fran Brown is saying, you know what, Coach Prime, I like what this stands for. We'll join you. We can benefit from this. You guys won 9 games last year. I can't wait to see it, guys. So, how do you feel about this? Hopefully, the NCAA doesn't get in the way of this. That's one thing I am a little nervous about, guys, got to be honest. But hopefully, the football gods can smile upon us, part the seas of the NCAA, and allow us to actually get some real quality spring football going on here. Thanks so much, guys. Skull Buffs.